Well, I'm back for doing a live stream. I went live a little bit earlier this morning. Like, I'm actually starting to really enjoy this stuff again, like more and more. The addiction side of things, and sharing about it, and just not necessarily trying to help anyone, just more or less sharing like testimony. Um, what's up today? How are you? So I would go live on YouTube and TikTok. So if you want to see this live again, you can see it on YouTube. I've always invested more energy in YouTube content than I have on TikTok content when it came to this stuff because I felt like I could always be more real on YouTube than I could TikTok. Like I was so afraid of like censoring and all that stuff. And the more that I just don't give a shit anymore, and I'm like, here, I'm just gonna tell how it fucking is as an addict, uh, has made it all just more fun. Hey Harrison, you started with weed addiction. I get it. I was never an addict for weed. Weed was never my thing. I never enjoyed weed, but I do get the desire of weed. I do get the how it helps with anxiety. I mean, there's positives I think to it and there's negatives to it. Hi Danny, how are you? I think when it comes to anything that you're, at least if you can admit that you're addicted to it, it's like the first step kind of just at least desiring to change your life. Um, People always kind of put you down for your addiction. People don't believe in addiction. People like even addicts aren't the best. Addicts become just assholes even sometimes to each other. Thank you, Labrad. I appreciate that. Yeah, you're starting to see that. No, addicts can really be assholes to each other. Like people are just assholes to each other in general in life a lot of times. And there's no right or wrong way to do anything. It's like we all do shit differently. You find people that you can relate to, you find people that you can't relate to. You can still be kind to everybody, and there is no right or wrong way to get sober. I mean, as long as somebody's not dead in under an overpass or dead in the fucking um, car alone is all that matters. You left a message. I don't really check those, Labret. I have thousands of DMs in my TikTok, and I get overwhelmed when I look at it. What's up, DW? How are you? I am not the person for mental health, Caleb, and I'm not the person you maybe want to listen to for mental health because my mental health advice, because I do struggle with a lot of stuff, is like, don't be a bitch. And I hate to say it that way. No one's dead right now. It's weird smoking because there's doesn't even get you high anymore. Just smoking. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people smoke it just to smoke it. We we all are. I feel that 7 months clean. Congratulations on 7 months clean. I am live on YouTube and on TikTok. I do a lot of content on YouTube. If you guys have never seen me on YouTube, I enjoy YouTube a lot. Hey, what's up, Pedro? How are you? Hey, LLC. Nice to see you. 4.5 years sober from alcohol. Nice. Quitting Kratom vlogs helped you. Kratom's addictive as fuck. I don't think a lot of people realize how addictive Kratom really is. I never really realized how addictive Kratom was. And Kratom is super fucking addictive. I never realized the withdrawals that I went through. Urges is blow out, dude. When it came to doing coke and blow at the same time as drinking, like those two went hand in hand for me. I don't know if I ever even do one or the other because like I was obsessed with combining the two. It was really dangerous. I'm good, DW. How are you, sweetie? Can't go more than a month clean. I feel that. I feel that. Um, no, this is not the professor account. um, no, when it was, I used to only go, I would go for maybe a month to like 90 days clean. And I did that for probably about 10 years before I would relapse. And then I would just go down this major bender, totally fuck up everything. And like, I wouldn't go like back to back sober. I would get like sober and then I wouldn't try and get sober again for like a couple years. I'm doing good, Jess. How are you? I'm doing good, Caleb. Hey, I found you through CG Kid, possibly another interview soon. I would love to do another interview with CG Kid. Him and I still talk. Him and I are actually really good friends still. I'm seeing him starting to do more content again. He took a long break off. Don't blame him. Social media really fucks with your head and stuff, and just as an addict, just trying to figure it out because there's addiction's so different for everybody. I'm up and not crying. So there you go. There you go, DW. Any advice? I'm scared. Go to the doctor and don't be scared and be honest with the doctor. Why is everybody afraid of the therapists and doctors? What, do you think they're going to judge you? Think they're going to put you in the put you in the mental ward. I mean, that's the biggest fear is like, oh, dude, doctors aren't going to fucking work unless you tell them what's wrong. Social media can be good, I think, for recovering, but it can also have a very downside. It definitely can have a downside, and you get kind of a god complex from social media, especially when you're an addict, thinking that you're more than what you really are. Like ultimately, I'm a shitty, deceitful, horrible human being. If I don't use, I think I'm pretty cool, and every day I want to have a pretty cool day. Heard on how some people stop drinking. I never, Mel. I mean, I've heard of that. When I quit drinking, I just cold turkey it. I didn't realize how dangerous it was, and man, it was a nightmare. I can stay off it whenever it gets to payday. I always get it. Dude, that's the hard thing is a lot of us addicts, as soon as it hits payday, is the day that we just go boom and we just spend it. Watch your videos sometimes beginning to get sober, dude. Awesome on you. And I'm glad that inspires some people. I mean, just so that they know, just so people can look around and be like, dude, there's other fucked up people that got sober too. That's cool. And I love the fact that you're spreading awareness, not just with the addiction, but also, oh, thank you. Yeah, I try to share about the suicide awareness and stuff. It's hard when you share about mental health too, because I think that is a huge part of addiction is the mental health side. But like I'm not a mental health expert by any means, and there's so much bullshit that revolves around mental health of us just not being real to ourselves and us being a victim. I think there's a lot of correlation between the two, and I don't think it's necessarily what people want to sometimes hear. I think it really comes down to going and just asking for help and truly asking for help. Oh, it's my wife's company, Caleb. It's one of our businesses that we own. Absolutely, Sherry. My nose hurts for hours, but I still can't stop. No, Alyssa, my nose used to hurt too a ton. I didn't want to waste cocaine at all, so I would snort water through tissue to kind of like blow out my sinuses. That's how obsessed with cocaine I was. I mean, my eight balls came in paper. Uh, Fuck, man, I always had to go to the bathroom. It was a nightmare. I don't know where to start. Aren't sober houses pretty expensive? They can be, Ozell, and some of them aren't. If you have no money and you want to get sober, Salvation Army, dude, that is one of the resources out there that you can hit up. I know that they're not necessarily are the LGBT friendly, but dude, when it comes to sobriety, nothing else matters but being sober. Thank you, Gene. How many years clean? 7/25/17 is my sobriety date. I'm already planning a bender next Saturday. How to avoid the focus on that, dude? Change your plans for Saturday. I was the same way. I used to schedule my benders. I see you now, DW. I used to schedule my benders out for when I would get wasted. And the one thing I could say is, that you're scheduling it out. Seriously, just tell people that, dude, I'm scheduling out a bender. I don't want to go on a bender. Somebody help me. I mean, that's my best suggestion. Somebody help me. I mean, there's people in your life that do love you still, unless you like totally have fucked over everybody. Because we as addicts eventually will like fuck over everyone. But man, when you are going down to know for a bender, and you're going on a bender, if you have any good friends in your life, like hit them up and just say, please help me. Um, Time I want to do, it's not going to be enough. Yeah, dude, it was never enough. Coke was never enough for me, and that's why I did 1 to 2 8 balls of Coke a day, is just because it wasn't enough. The high wasn't enough, and I didn't want it to leave, and then it would leave my system, and I'm sad. So I got to do more. And then, of course, as a cocaine, it was like I could outsmart this drug and how it works. So if I do more, my high's going to last longer because that's what it should do, but it doesn't do it that way, and you're gacking and just, ugh. What's up? Yeah, a quarter a day. Not every day. Like I would do 1 8 ball, so 3.5 grams to 7 8 grams a day. Um, I call my sister, my mental health. Dude, that's the thing is if you are slipping, hit your family up. If I send a message, will you read it? Probably not. If you want me, unless you want me to lie to you. I have so many DMs. I get overwhelmed as soon as I open up my DMs. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. But yeah, a quarter a day. Have you done one? Yeah, no, I don't do coke anymore. I've been sober from coke 7/25/17. Um, but I appreciate that, Sherry. Does overthinking stop? Yeah, no, it does stop. I'm afraid to tell my girlfriend it fucks up my plans. It's like I have dude. It is. It's like we have two people inside us. We have like a bad human being inside us that just takes over and gives ourselves to addiction, and that's where addicts really realize it and know about that. Is once that person inside us takes over, there is no saving us. We've succumbed and gave ourselves to drugs. That's what it is. Whatever your addiction is, you have succumbed and you have given yourself to it. Dude, I sleep on Adderall. I'm going to say this. I've been on stimulants since I was 13. I was diagnosed ADH or ADD, then later on ADHD. I've been on stimulants my entire life, and it's amazing what happens when you have ADHD of what stimulants actually kind of do for you. Kind of builds up a tolerance. When I'm sober, I notice myself still feeling the effects of coke. It's so much mental. It's so much mental, Alyssa. Is when you're feeling the effects of cocaine, it is so mental for us. Like the physical withdrawals from cocaine isn't strong. There isn't any body aches and hot and cold flashes typically, stuff like that. I mean, maybe some people have experienced that. A lot of the people I've talked to haven't. But so much of it's the mental side, like especially if you suffer from like low self-esteem, if you suffer from anxiety, if you feel worthless, like a lot of those feelings, like you do coke and you have this big mood energy and you feel unstoppable, and that's what almost sucks us in. Sleeping pills get some rest, damages your brain. No, it does, dude. It's amazing how we like self-medicate as addicts. What's up? Coke is scary. You never know if it's laced with it. Yeah, you don't know if coke is laced with anything now. Still trying to function. Dude, I still try to function too. Dude, you have to cut out all those people. It's lonely when you first get sober, and that's why NA and AA are like good resources and good because you're at least around other fucked up people that are doing their best to stay sober, so you don't feel so alone. You're never burdening anybody. We always feel that way though. Drugs take so much of your time, dude. Drugs take your life. Like drugs take everything. Drugs take your life and your soul. They take it all. They lead you down this thinking that you're living the greatest life ever. Like if I talk about a day or a bender of cocaine, it sounds like an unbelievable day. And like when I talk about like my cocaine experience, I feel like I'm a salesman for fucking cocaine. Like it literally sounds so fucking amazing. And when I think back to my cocaine binges, I mean, holy shit! I like gets my heart racing a little bit because it was so insane. Ultimately, that fun experience, whatever it was. Once that's over, you've hurt so many people, you've damaged so much, you're lying, you're just oh my god, it's fucking ugly. Journaling's been a license. Journaling helps a lot. I literally like read like messages into my phone because I struggle to write. Um, what caused the Addy shortage? There's a lot of things behind the Adderall shortage. That's a brutal shortage going on. It started to affect me. I did some sharing on the Adderall shortage. I'm dependent on Adderall. I wouldn't say I'm addicted to it because I don't burn through my Adderall. I literally take my script each day of how it's prescribed. I don't even always take it, but I do have physical dependency on Adderall. Turns you into someone else, Stacy. I feel that. It turned me into somebody else. It turned me into a fucking monster, man. I was a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I was a lot of fun to be around. I would spend a lot of money on people, but ultimately I was very selfish and just nasty. Trying to quit everything once in a week. I get dude. It is. I used to go through sobriety spurts. I always call them like sober spurts, where you get like sober. Smoking what? Summer. I never was. I mean, I smoked cigarettes, but I never smoked anything else. I wouldn't. I never smoked crack because I would never waste cocaine. Cocaine, I like the powder. I like the nose. All of that stuff. Like, I never IV'd cocaine. I never IV'd any drugs. I mean, I did meth, and I've done meth before, but I snorted meth. I didn't IV meth, and I didn't smoke meth. Meth to me was like the dirtiest, nastiest fucking drug in the world. Yet I still did it because people would tell me it was coke. As I'm inside this nasty ass fucking trap house, thinking that, oh, these are legit people. Yeah, come downs are nasty. How did I get sober from it? I got sober from it because I just kept ruining my life. That's the worst part is like I ruined my life. I feel embarrassed after the next day because I was super yeah. No, it gives you super energy, it gives you super hyperness, and then you come down from it and you're like, "Oh, fuck," and then you're not that same person. Um, surge pre sur same thing happens that yeah. Try to stick to the dude, I try to stick to the positives every fucking day. Sometimes it's hard. Um, and I've done acid. I did a lot of acid in high school. Best way to come down from coke, fucking embrace the suck and don't do it. I mean, that's literally it. I can't say that there is no come down from coke. Like there is, as an addict, we'll never outsmart drugs. We think we will. We think we can outsmart the drugs, but we won't. Unless you can find something that activates your serotonin and your dopamine that's not cocaine or another drug, you're not going to ever overcome that come down of cocaine because that's why you get depressed on coke and that's why you get irritable on coke and that's why you become it's almost like you're manic but you're not manic, like you have this really big high and this really big low because your dopamine and serotonin are so jacked up. What do you mean by outsmart the drugs? We as addicts try to outsmart our drugs, dude. Just like an alcoholic. I was an alcoholic, so I'm gonna outsmart blacking out. I'm gonna sober up. So what am I gonna do? I'll do cocaine because that will sober me up. I mean, we really think that we're geniuses when we are when we're addicts. It's so dumb, but it's crazy. I'm constantly thinking I want to get sober, but never do. Dude, it takes rock bottom to finally get sober. I'm gonna take it, granddaddy. Dude, we just never did anything for me. They just make you content, and that's the problem. Yeah, super similar. Like yeah, I feel that. I just had first coke experience club, dude. When I first did my coke, I was like, dude, this is a lot of fun, but I'm not gonna get addicted to this. I got to budget this out. I was a really good cocaine budgeter at first. Like I would budget my cocaine until I couldn't anymore, and then it wasn't enough, and then I wanted a better high. So if I mix in sex, if I mix in alcohol, and I mix in isolation and just sex, alcohol, and drugs, and this is even better. And like literally the places that my brain went were fucked. Both of them were equally depressing. Alcohol was real depressing just because I was so dependent on alcohol. I was an alcoholic way before I was a coke addict. I mean, both of them are depressants. No, don't worry, Journey. I mean, I explain things the best that I can. I'm not like professional or anything when it comes to this. I find joy by sharing my testimony, by sharing my story, by relating to others. When I can relate to others, like it reminds me that I'm not super insane. Yeah, Miss Impulsive is my wife. I adore her and love her. She's amazing. She's my girl. Like I'm not sober for her, but I love her. We have a beautiful house, beautiful family, beautiful job, businesses that we own. Like that's the cool thing about sobriety is like when you do finally clean it all up, like your life becomes fucking amazing. Do I have any vices today? Yes, I actually do. You want to know what my vices are? Motherfucking Pokemon cards. I collect fucking cards. That is one of my biggest vices. As dumb as it sounds. Yeah, I am. I've been completely sober for since 7/25/17. I don't fuck with shit. Actually, no. It depends on who you're talking to because I do take Adderall. So to some people, I'm not sober because I take Adderall. Does alcoholism run in family? Yes, it does. Cocaine true story. Halfway through an 8 ball, took too much. Soon in the bathroom. Police outside the bathroom. Ended up putting the rest up my nose. Paranoia, dude. Paranoia is real. 3 months sober now, trying to quit Klonopin. Dude, that's a hard thing, dude. Is when it comes to Klonopin. You become dependent on it, especially with anxiety and bullshit. I know jumping on the house is rough, dude. It's amazing the shit that we do on drugs. Any hobbies? I have a lot of hobbies. I have a lot of hobbies actually. Drug of choice was cocaine and alcohol too. Been sober over 5 years now. Awesome, Jeff. Did you prefer drinking beer? No, I hard liquor, dude. Mine were shots. I had to get fucked up. Like as an addict, I didn't drink for any enjoyment. Like people who would be like, "Oh yeah, man, like you got to try this IPA or whatever." I ain't trying shit. If I'm drinking beer, I'm gonna drink like fucking Keystone Ice because it's cheap and it has a high alcohol content. But I want to do shots, and I want to drink tequila, and I want to get destroyed. I mean like I literally wanted just to die each time. Absolutely all sorts. What made me become sober is I hated ruining my life. I hated my marriage. I hated my life. I hated myself. I didn't want to be here, but I didn't want to kill myself. I didn't like who I was, and I was like, "Fuck, I can't do this anymore." So what's the common denominator? Why do I keep ruining my life? Well, found out what the common denominator was. The common denominator is awesome. I like alcohol and cocaine. Been watching your videos, my cocaine binges. Hey, it's a process, man. I don't judge anybody for getting high and using and stuff because I know what it's like. Have you ever drank hand? No, no, I was never that bad of an alcoholic, man. I could not drink like hand sanitizer or mouthwash or like vanilla extract. Do I still drink? No, I don't touch alcohol. I drink water and a lot of iced tea. Doctor laughed at me. You only did it a year. You're not an addict. Doctors don't understand addiction. If you didn't know that, doctors truly don't understand addictions. You got to find people that specialize, Rebecca, in addiction. To become a doctor, there are no courses that they take to understand and learn about addiction. Sometimes they'll go to like AA or NA, which aren't for like learning experiences. I mean, that's not where you go to learn about addiction. That's where you get to see the sickness of addiction. Um, but when it comes to truly getting somebody to help you with addiction, you need people or a doctor who specializes on addiction. 7 days, congratulations, Chris, dude. 7 days is a long fucking time, dude. 7 days is eternity. Like, there's a lot of shit that is like eternity for us. And getting sober is like eternity. We look back and it's like we lost eternity, but then we also look at our life and we're like, dude, I've gained so much more. Like, I've lived more life in the last 3 years than I did the last 13 years. Hi, Jess. Oh, thank you for the rose. And if you guys haven't checked out my YouTube channel, I do share a lot on YouTube. I'll probably get to the point where I just start going to doing lives on YouTube again. If you don't mind me answering, how much did you and your wife make? My wife didn't make shit. When I was married, her and I got divorced back in 2021. We got our divorce finalized, but I was making 500 a year. Won't even put in my file like I requested. No, Rebecca, just my thing is find a different doctor that knows addiction, find a different therapist or somebody that knows addiction. I feel like I am living, but I have to keep. No, it's struggle, dude. 7 days without using is so long. Absolutely. Could use shelter. It was a while ago. She would drink and hand it. Yeah, hand sanitizer. Dude, I can't. I could never do it, dude. Is like the people that did it, like would drink hand sanitizer or drink like. I just never. My brain never went there. Like I would rather like toughen it out and like embrace that suck versus like having to like drinking hand sanitizer. I just couldn't do it. Have you ever chewed the bag? No, I used to eat the bag. My dealers used to put Coke in paper, so I would just eat the paper afterwards. What do I do for work now? My wife and I own a couple businesses. Love the honesty. It's all. Well, I'm glad, Jeff. I like that people like the honesty. I mean, my way isn't the right way. I share the reality side of like what I've experienced. I mean, I wish I would have like met others that were getting sober and stuff that called me out for being a bitch, called me out for being selfish, called me out for being manipulative, called me out for just being the victim. I mean, that was my worst thing is I always played the victim. And nothing was ever my fault. It was ever always everybody else. And poor me. And poor me this and poor me that. And that was the shit that fucked me up the most. And then I would play the victim to everybody else in my life and it would just enable me. So she saw my short about eating paper. Yeah, dude, I used to eat paper when it came to Coke. It's really bad if you put in soda. Pretty bad, dude. Oh, I cannot imagine. Definitely not good for you though. No, worst place you had to snort a line. I don't know, man. I always had money, so I never snorted lines. And like the worst place I ever snorted a line was I would snort. I've snorted meth at like really nasty ass fucking trap houses. Just because I wanted to get high. Um, and not realizing that it was meth. That's probably the worst. Like if you've never been to like a trap house, like that is the epitome of rock bottom nastiness, ugliness of the world. Tips on getting help: ask everybody for help. Get with a therapist. Look in the mirror and tell yourself to stop being a fucking pansy ass bitch. I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that in a reality way. Find a reason to live because there's a ton of them out there, but no one's gonna find them but for you. Hi, babe. I decided to go live on both of these. So I'm live on both right now. I'm actually having fun. We do well. You got cupcakes? I'm gonna eat some of them cupcakes. My cupcakes bring out a one. We make a decent amount, Noah. Wolf of Wall Street influenced you. The Wolf of Wall Street, I remember watching that and it reminded me of my life a little bit. And I'm like, isn't it amazing you watch like these movies and stuff that glamorize drug use and it almost like gives you a desire to use? It's like the most fucked up thing in the world. Yes, I still talk to CG Kid. He's Philip is a good friend of mine. People I don't think realize the friendship that I actually have with CG Kid. Him and I do talk still on about a bi-monthly basis. Um, we still text every now and then. Like he's a good friend of mine. We've been through a lot of stuff together, and he's a good guy. He is one of my true friends. Um, how did I move on from grief? I had to admit that I was grieving. I had to admit that I was in pain. I earned a lot of money each year, making a millionaire. Yeah, dude, I was handing over my coke dealer, dude. That's the worst part ever is when you tell people about like all the money and stuff that you make, and then people like, well, where did all that money go? And then you're like, well, I blew it all. That doesn't bother me as much as fentanyl. That bothers me more. I'm afraid of fentanyl, dude. I know that it's in coke now. So saying money in cocaine, yeah, not a benefit there. No, grief doesn't equal weakness. It's like you just gotta own it. Miss Impulsive's the one that actually helped me the most with that. My wife now, like, and it wasn't weakness. It was like I didn't understand how to face grief. Like I didn't know. Like nobody teaches you how to face grief, and like you learn different habits. And unfortunately, I think it's always portrayed that the habit to learn is to hold it in to show strength, but that's not strength, and it just builds and festers inside you. With no doubt. I heard you speak about two loved ones who committed suicide. Oh, thanks. Yeah, no. I self-medicated. Yes, it definitely gets better. So what drugs did I do back in high school? In high school, I did cocaine, I did acid and weed, MDMA. Those were the drugs that I really did in high school. But I drank more in high school than anything. Later, Chris, uh, we hate fent, the drug, not supply. Dude, it's so screwed up. My friend who's meth addict hates fentanyl too. Everybody hates fentanyl. Everybody's afraid of fentanyl. Fentanyl is the scariest drug that can be inside of a drug. I'll give him a lot of good things. I am on two lives, Bella. I have more people in my YouTube live than I do on my TikTok live. I love YouTube a lot more, um, and I love sharing on YouTube a lot more than I do TikTok. But no, God, I used to I used to be obsessed with drugs. I mean, that's the ultimate though when you're an addict. No, I have to barely talk, dude. I never got paranoid on cocaine. I would talk a lot. I had massive I'd have massive cotton mouth, so I'd be drinking a lot. Um, and I never got paranoid on it because I became in like my own world. Like it shut me down almost from like the outside world, and I just focused on getting high. And that's what I think made it so scary for me is just that focus on getting high and high like nonstop. Like I just that's all my focus was the high. Oh, absolutely. Mm. Dude, drugs entrap you, but it's funny. You do drugs and you think that it's freeing you and it's enlightening you and it's opening your mind, and you think that these drugs are just they're making you a better person. Like it's amazing what you buy into and believe. How are you, too? Rock bottom for me with drugs, I never really did because I used all day long until I passed out, and then I'd wake back up. So it'd be the mornings. I would say mornings were really the rock bottom because the mornings would be when I'd wake up and I'd have to be like, okay, what did I lie about? What did I do? I didn't remember most of the night. Did I come? What time did I come home? What all did I put in my system? So mornings were really that reality for me, and also when the withdrawals were hitting. So I had to hurry it up and go and get high again. Um, and I had to get drunk, so I had to start numbing that. Bro, does that happen when you wake up extremely tired after cocaine? Yeah, cocaine will exhaust you again a ton, dude. Cocaine wears you out. Are you against weed? No, I don't. I don't really care. I don't care what people do. Like, if you want to know the reality of it, I don't care what people do. People are going to do what they want to do. I hope the best. Can't control any of it. I can share my experiences and stuff, but like that's it. And that's like that kind of the harsh reality of it. I'm not against weed. I'm not against, I'm against doing illegal drugs. I'm against like ruining your life and stuff. But like ultimately people are going to do whatever they want to do. So it's like I don't fault them or judge people for what they do. Like I legitimately don't care. I'm gonna jump off this TikTok live. I'll be back on this one here shortly. Um, withdrawals. I mean, the scariest withdrawal I ever had was after I had gotten sober for about a year and a month. I attempted suicide. Like I couldn't get my head right. So that was probably the scariest part of my of my addiction. And even of getting sober was the sole fact that like I couldn't get my head straight. So that part like really freaked me out. Um, do you still do it a couple times? No, I've never stopped. Never will do coke again. I will never drink again. I will never do anything like that again. I mean, I can't say never, but I will do everything in my power to never do it again. Do you have any personal bad experiences with smoking weed? No, I just get massively paranoid when I smoke weed. Um, I get really bad anxiety when I smoke it. It doesn't do anything for me. I know some people are like, dude, weed helps me sleep and weed helps me eat food and weed, sweet, dude, cool. But it was not for me. Everybody's different, I think, when it comes to any kind of substances out there, even when it comes to any kind of when it comes to any kind of medication, like it affects us all a little differently. Dude, dude, they are the wrong form of being happy, and we think that drugs are happiness, and that's the worst part is, like, I think we all get kinda sucked into doing drugs because we go down this route of, like, "Oh, hey, this is a party, like, let's have fun, I wanna let loose a little bit more, I wanna have even more of a fun time," whatever it might be, like, we come up with these excuses, and then those excuses feed into our addiction, it enables us, and then we just get fucked. Place my muscles, dude. Muscles have given up on me, dude. Doing coke. What up? Have you ever hallucinated badly from drugs? No. My wife who killed herself did. She used to think like SWAT would be on like the rooftop outside and shit. But I just became so like in my own little world. It was so weird. Like I never paid attention to anything else going around me. I paid attention to getting high. Alcohol is definitely not one of my drugs of choice. Dude, alcohol was one of mine. I just liked drinking, and I don't know why. Um, so this happens with me. I do lines, half gram. I'm like, yeah, no, that's the thing, dude. You do a line, you do two lines, and it's like, man, that half a gram or that just that little bump, and it gives you that energy, it gives you that motivation, you can talk, you feel like you have this great sense of humor, like it brings out the worst in you. But you think it's the best because it overcomes all of this self-worth and no self-love and just all of this and turns you into somebody who you almost wish you could be, but it has such a negative side effect. Do you ever feel panic attacks from I used to struggle with panic attacks, but not anymore. I know I've done some damage, and that's the thing is like as the older I get, I mean, yeah, I'm sure more and more the damage is going to show up, but that's okay. Like I did it to myself. Like I own that. I'm just enjoying every day I can. With alcohol, it's weird for me because I have limits, compulsions, trying to figure. And that's the thing is if you think you have a problem, maybe you do it. If you don't think you have a problem, maybe you don't. You know, how's Adderall help me? Adderall's helped me just be able to be an adult. I mean, Adderall allows me to literally complete tasks during the day, to focus during the day, to do more than literally just sit and just zone out and be stuck in my brain. Thank you, Nana. I appreciate that. Problem with hard drugs is, dude, sneaking in the bathroom, dude. Dude, with hard drugs, man, we all have IBS. We all are sneaking in the bathroom. We're doing shit, telling people that we're fine. I mean, the sneaky, like, edgy shit that we do when we're high is so fucked up. I mean, I lived in the bathroom, and I used to just tell everybody like my stomach was bad or whatever. Let's go. All right, I'm gonna go live on talk here at the same. Enjoy the questions. There we are. Um, Alcohol makes food taste better. Nah, the sneaky ain't dude. Sneaky isn't normal behavior, and we as an addict, we are the sneakiest lying motherfuckers there are, dude. What I do for a living, we own our own company. No, I will never do that, and I seriously wouldn't. I didn't. I liked my job, but I hated my job. If that makes sense. Like it wasn't good for me. I was great at sales, and I loved the sales aspect of it. But when it came to if I could ever do that job and stuff again, I never would just because it puts me in the environment I can't be around. It puts me in the environment that is just really dangerous for me. But I love what we have what we've like created as our own business and stuff. And I love what like I love my life now, if that makes sense. Worst issue with alcohol, cocaine comes down well my dome anxiety. Dude, it hits you hard. It hits you hard. Repeat what part? Dude, the when I would get high and stuff, I was like living life. And when I was drunk, I was living life and life was amazing and life was good. And I felt unstoppable. Coming down though, you cannot overcome that depression. You can't overcome that anxiety. Depending on how long you were high for, I mean, you don't remember what you did. I mean, the worst was like being in the shower and trying to go, okay, what did I do? Like, was I good last night or did I do anything wrong last night? Like, I did not know what was going to happen. Like each morning was filled with paranoia and anxiousness because I'm like, how bad was I last night? Because I know I obviously I knew I got high enough and messed up enough to like literally black out that I don't remember anything. Yeah, I've taken Xanax. I was prescribed Xanax for a long time. Drugs for me was more trauma. Dude, drugs for me were a yes, I speak a lot from experience, Becca. Drugs for me were purely um, a lot of trauma just self-medicating. Um, 2015, when my wife committed suicide, is when I went hardcore on just alcohol and cocaine. And it my wife committed suicide in August. We put her funeral was in September, and by the end of September is when I started rolling hard with alcohol and coke, and I just tried to numb it. Um, it's all about score. Yeah, dude, it's all about scoring, dude. When we try to score, it's all about scoring. That's the only thing we can think about is scoring of bags, scoring. Is it the good shit? Just, oh, I mean, that's what your whole obsession is scoring. Do you use rooms, and if so, how many times a week? I will, realistically, once a month, maybe. Not even that. It depends. Chasing Dragon, it is chasing the dragons. I'm glad they've helped you. I do believe, and I've really leaned on AA and NA before, um, but also I don't like the obsessiveness that I have to do this. Like I don't like to be told what I have to do. In a sense, I've sponsored people before. Hi, Jilly. I have. I've helped a lot of people get sober, but when it comes to it, I do believe in AA. You're gonna, there's days, there's times that you're gonna be really active in, and times that you won't be. I hear you. I go to the meetings when I'm struggling, man, and that's when I go. Hi, Belly. Do you have any bad habits? No, I don't drink. I used to smoke. I just quit smoking in May of 2021, and now I do the nicotine pouches. Getting sober on, yeah, crazy work stories. Well, an active addiction. Yeah, mine are messed up. Like my crazy stories are messed up stories. Like I remember I banged the receptionist at the receptionist desk in the middle of our dealership in the middle of the day, high as a kite. That's fucked up. Um, I'm not bi. I'm straight. Everybody asks because of the bi flags. My wife is actually bi. I'm not. Um, I haven't read any of his books. In May, Australia. I was on ice 22 years. Woke up one morning and didn't want it. There you go. Um, dude, I woke up and didn't want it. I woke up and just didn't want the life that I was creating, and it was messing me up. Like I hated the life that I created, and I was just not happy. Like I hated it. What if your friend's hanging doing line? Dude, I will not be around anybody who's doing a line. What my wife is by. How do you deal with death now being sober? I haven't really had much death hit me while being sober, but like I've come to accept it. I've come to learn how to grieve. Learning to grieve is hard, man. There's no classes out there like to learn how to grieve. Did I ever sip purple? No. Lean. You're 5 weeks clean, dude. 5 weeks clean is huge, man. I mean, just people trying is huge, and people trying is cool. Because when we're addicts, it's so hard to even try. It seems so unattainable. It seems so unrealistic. And we have to start thinking about our head. Like that's the part that always scared me. Like is my thoughts. Like my thoughts changed tremendously once I got sober. Like I couldn't escape my thoughts. My thoughts were always with me and holy fuck. Fuck, what do I do with this? It is always one day at a time is enough. Exactly. 5 months clean. Congratulations. True. You woke up today. There you go. I don't do the driven stuff anymore. I just like to share testimony now. Do you struggle with better talking about it or not to talk? No, I enjoy actually talking about it. Thoughts and change in what way? Thoughts are, dude. As an addict we have shitty thoughts up here. We are a lot of addicts I've met are coping with something, and let alone when you get clean, you're a lot of times really depressed. You have a lot of shit going on in here. You don't know why. You don't know how to handle your emotions. You don't understand your emotions anymore. So it just feels like a clusterfuck. Yeah, talking about it helps a lot. I don't miss it at all. What scares me is I can be okay for a week. No, that's the thing. Is like we think we have it under control. Is like you get clean and especially like the first couple years when I was trying to get sober, I would get sober for like a couple weeks or a month, and then to like congratulate myself, I would use or I would drink, and I'd be like, see, I can control it. And I'd go out and get drunk, and I earned this. I didn't drink for 30 days. I fucking earned this. No, I didn't earn shit. Yeah. I need to go live more. I'm starting to enjoy going live again. I haven't went live on these accounts for a very long time. I've just now started going live on these accounts again. Um, I relate everything you're saying, dude, because we as addicts understand. We as addicts totally get it. You know, people that aren't addicts don't get it. People with addict that aren't addicts don't. They're like, dude, coke is fun, and like, dude, seriously, like, what fucking reality are you living in, dude? Like, have you ever seen somebody die in front of you, fucking ODing? You ever been to your best friend's funeral? I mean, like, what part of this is fucking cool? But how it's portrayed is cool and let's go get high. And I wish I could put everybody in just an addict's shoes so you could almost just experience that because it's not fun. It's lonely. Being an addict is super lonely. You ain't got no friends. The friends around you are your friends until you are not supplying anymore or you are not using anymore or, nobody likes a fucking mooch. I don't do text anymore, Tony. I haven't done text messaging for a long, long time. Never done coke, and it's not fun though. To be fair, yeah, I sit by myself, not partying. Just need to feel okay. The thing I found, if you want to know how you want to feel okay, like if you're getting sober and you want to know what to do, is my biggest one is get the fuck out of the house because the four walls around you do become like a prison, and you have to get out and experience life. You have to find love of life again. If it's just taking a hike or whatever. And as an addict, I think in the very beginning, we are such bitches of like, oh, poor me, and I'm going through all this, and we are like, you're going like validate what you're going through, but you gotta like, no one's going to find like the love of life for you again except for you. So it's up to you to start finding it. Well, fun. Those are some people that become addicts. Exactly. Turns into a reality. It ain't fun anymore, is it, Sam? Great. Right. I don't have any friends. I don't need any. The more later on in life, you realize that friends are good. You walked 26 miles yesterday, dude. I started working out when I started getting sober. No, I didn't meet my wife in active addiction. Not who I'm with. Just like to say, thank you, Twitch. I appreciate that. Walk 13 miles, dude. We as addicts can walk a lot. We as addicts can walk like a fucking forever because we need to do something. Because if we're not doing something, we're like in our head. And it's even hard and you got to watch out for when you first get sober, like your addictions start to transfer and you start to get addicted to other things. And it's so easy to get addicted to other stuff that aren't even necessarily drugs. It's almost just that obsessive behavior. And it's anything that gives you kind of like a little dopamine high or a little rush of adrenaline, all of a sudden then you become like kind of addicted to that and you want more and more of that. And you don't realize it. I definitely agree with you, Sam. That's true walks, dude. Walks, we walk a lot. What were you pay a G back then? Don't know what you mean by that. Um, yeah, no, I've lost a lot of friends to addiction. I've lost some people that I've cared about to addiction. Unfortunate reality of addiction, though, no one's gonna get clean except for the addict. I want to get clean. I don't know where to start. Any suggestions? Yeah, Dwayne. You want to know what my suggestion is? If you want to get clean, it won't work for everybody. If you really want to get clean, take all your shit, flush it down the toilet, look in the fucking mirror, and tell yourself to stop being a bitch. Stop making excuses and stuff for yourself, and then you start hitting up everybody in your life, and probably no one's gonna pick up for you because we've burned all those bridges. But still pick it up and just say, "Hey, I'm struggling. I need some help. I need some fucking help." Find an NA meeting, an AA meeting, go there, just walk in there, sit down, and just say, "I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I just need help." Because that's what I had to do. How much did you bring home when you? How much did I bring home? My take home after taxes usually were like 35, 40 a month. I lost a lot of weight after I stopped. I was a fat Coke addict. I used to drink because drinking Coke, it actually combines and creates a new chemical that a lot of people. There was never a lot of research, and there still isn't much research done on it called cocaethylene. That's very euphoric, and and like I would eat like 40 bucks worth of Taco Bell. Like I ate shit, so I would eat like Taco Bell and just stuff my like binge eat. And so like I had a very unhealthy diet and I gained a ton of weight. And when I got sober, the first like 2 months, I lost a lot of weight. I love the salt about putting on your tongue, distracting you. Salt works, man. If you struggle with panic attacks, it works. How about that? I don't even drink soda anymore, dude. I literally drink water and iced tea now. I got addicted to gym and steroids. There you go. When you mentioned what, yeah, no, the salt works tremendously. Um, no, I don't. I mean, I like to share mental health stuff. I'm careful on that, just because a lot of people that struggle with mental health don't really, I think, want help. They're not there yet. We have to deal with the emotions of life. Yeah, dude. Once you learn to deal with emotions in life, it is so much easier. And like to know that it's okay to cry, it's okay to break down, it's okay to lose your shit. It's okay to not like somebody. It's okay to be kind. It's like to really come to terms with a lot of stuff is a lot. I've never had meth psychosis because meth wasn't a drug of choice of mine. And coke, you don't really get a psychosis. I love your live streams. Thanks, Seeking. I appreciate that. I mean, I know people that would do coke and you get that mad paranoia and stuff, but I never was. I was just too obsessed with cocaine. It's true. Yeah. No, nobody, even when it comes to mental health, no one's going to get the help that they need until they're ready to get it, and stop enabling yourselves. We're our worst enablers. We're our worst enemy when it comes to so much of that stuff because we poor me it and we play the victim of life. And nothing happens in life that isn't a result of actions and consequences. And that's the part that we don't want to take any acceptance of that. Yeah, there are some things that are out of our control. There are diagnoses out there. Some people's brains don't work the same. But then it's one of those things that it's like you look at yourself and it's like, okay, I mean, why is this one person that has bipolar out there fucking ultra successful and happy? I mean, it ultimately comes down to us. Or religious. No, I'm not. I'm actually not. I mean, I'm religious, but I'm not going to church, any of that. I mean, I believe in a higher power. Do you feel once you're done with coke and over a few months, it regularly breaks you do break a little bit, I think, from reality with it. My problem is for a long time, I dealt with a lot of depression when I first got sober from coke. And after a few months, that depression was always still kind of there and like really had to fight through that shit. Day one for me flushing water all day. There you go. You're new. Hi, Maria. I'm glad you ran into me too. Tried to switch from meth to coke, but can't do it. Dude, that's the thing is like we as addicts, I mean, again, we try to outsmart drugs. We try to try something else or to do something else to still get high and still kind of protect our addiction, but we never really are. Like we're just feeding our beast inside. Thank you, Tiny. I thought the FBI SWAT don't miss it. Dude, nobody I think misses the days when you think the SWAT is outside or you think the cops are outside or you're being followed. Nobody misses those days. Do you still have days where you are in danger? Not nearly. Maddie, the only thing I can tell you is like I don't go around shooters. Shooters are one of those things that actually really like I look at those and I'm like, oh, and I can feel like my mouth start to water, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like, nope, and I gotta get away. Um, I do believe in affirmations tremendously. No, saw a video of Coke side effects, and I am doing this, and I see how true you are. Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. I hope the videos help people. I mean, it helped. I enjoy just sharing about it, and it's hard to share about cocaine. It's hard for me to share about my stories, at least for me, because sometimes when I'm sharing, like and I start thinking of some of the stuff I did, I'm like, man, it actually makes the drug sound good, but in reality, it wasn't. Maybe that little spurt of time from an outsider who isn't addicted is like, holy shit, that's insane. But for the addict, like it was just another day for you, and it just kept ruining those so much more that was never seen. I just absolutely lost life. Hey, I believe in you. I never had a real severe come down. No alcohol, went to sleep, figured out reality dude, that's the worst is I've had that before where you go to bed high and you go to bed drunk as fuck and you wake up and you're like, "Did this really happen or did it not happen?" That was the worst. It's been a long time since I was oh, thank you, Chloe. I'm struggling by coke addicts saying being in a relationship with one drain. Dude, being in a relationship with a cocaine addict is the most draining thing in the world. My suggestion is get the fuck away from them. Like out later, bro. Addicted, just hooked. Realize, put feel it, Sam. Does the itch ever go away? The itch goes away, but the it's always still kind of there. It's more of a tickle though instead of an itch. Like you have this like tickling of like, God, that would be fun. Like, man, if I could only do that one more day. And we can't. We know we can't. Like that's always kind of there. It's always in a sense on your mind, but not. Dude, I in early recovery, my dreams, my sleeping habits and stuff were so jacked up. Dude, it was brutal. What's up, Lexi? It was so brutal. Shorts have helped you from time to time. Awesome. I'm glad they do. I try to post a good number of shorts a day. Hey, Elizabeth. The I'm still so slow. I feel numb, dude. If you're getting, I don't know what that's in regards to. If it's getting sober, dude, my life was in slow mode for like a year. Whereas when you realize that the routine, yeah, dude, exactly. Dude, it's worse what the shit does to your teeth and what it does to your body. I'm going through a bad depression right now. There's something comforting about your videos. I'm glad, Kurt. People have told me that before that they find comfort or they find warmth in the videos. I don't wish harm upon anybody. I don't like everybody, but I don't wish anyone anything bad. I hope people that are struggling find their way out. They do. Actually, this too just chipped the other day. Haven't slept in 3 days. Feel like, dude, sleep will fuck you up, dude. Thank you. Comment is previous that has had miscarriage. That's brutal, dude. Make sure that you make sure that you therapy is not underrated. Like, don't be afraid to get therapy and just be honest with them. What's up, little right? How are you? Your videos are real. I'm here. Your target audience is correct. You're cokehead. Dude, I share, and that's the thing that's funny is I can always tell people that will be like either real or not real when it comes to addiction. How do you sleep after cocaine? Just massive alcohol. Like I had videos of like on coke and I thought I was sleeping, but I was like up and I'd be like crawling on the floor and trying to eat and stuff. Like I blacked out a lot of nights, man. Like a lot of nights. And it was bad because I mixed alcohol, cocaine, and Viagra and Cialis. That was usually always the I'm glad, little white. That's awesome. That was my combination of just demise and Viagra and Cialis change your blood flow and your circulation, and alcohol hits you even harder. Um, how long have I been sober? I've been sober for God, how long have I been sober? 7/25/17. So I don't know the exact days, but 7/25/17. This might sound like a silly question, but is it easier? Yeah, it gets easier. Time. It does not even. Does it have anything to do with getting easier? Just over time, you're learning, and when you do truly want to learn, and you expand your mind to learning, everything gets a lot easier. Um, you become more self-aware. You become knowing what you can and you can't do. You can almost see scenarios play out. Yeah, but I don't. I have a different Snapchat. Even I don't even use the old Snapchat. I've really walked away from a lot of the mental health stuff. I don't do much hands-on stuff anymore. My brain feel like it's gonna explode thinking about the combo, dude. Yeah, codeine, coke, yeah, weed. There you go, dude. We all as addicts have our different combinations that we would use. Don't be sorry. I stay away from a lot of that. I just bad experiences with that. And I'm not I have such a different mentality than what I used to have. And once you see some no, exactly, you do. And dude, I see the I look back and, like, don't get me wrong, that like, I look back and there's some parts that I look back at and I'm like, "Dude, like, that was fun." But, dude, that was messed up. I mean, I had girls snorting lines off my junk, dude. Like, I was just a wreck, and it was just chasing continual highs. I'm not proud, I just can't talk this open with no, and that's the thing is when you, a lot of people can't talk open about their struggles, you know, and don't even know how to yet. And I'll say this, like, the most powerful thing people can do is, like, to share and be open, and, like, open about their struggles and what they're coming through, and it's like that reminder to yourself that you made it through it. And then you're like, "Dude, if I made it through this, I can make it through, you know, the next thing." And I think people, as soon as you lose that fear and that fear of being judged and that fear of judgment out there, and you realize, like, "Hey, dude, it's okay to, like, be yourself. Not everyone's gonna like you. That don't matter." Just said that in the day, if you can look in the mirror and you go, "Dude, I like who I see and I like who I'm becoming," and, I look around at my life and I'm like, "I love my life." It ain't that bad, dude. It ain't that bad. Were was you able to keep your family through all that? They all came back, but no, I lost a lot of my family. Um, as an addict, you burn a lot of bridges. Once you become consistent and people really truly see change, then it all changes. Advice for getting out of depression: get some help, get with a therapist. I love it. I've been through a lot physically. You get to the point where you have to hand it to somebody, man. You know, and that's the thing. Like, I'm religious, but dude, whatever helps somebody, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's the thing that I used to struggle with. Like, I used to struggle with, like, there's a right way and a wrong way to do this, and I can do it better than everybody else and all this bullshit. And we're all just fighting through it every single day, man. And like whatever works for somebody works for them and hoorah. It kind of just, even if you don't agree with it, is a reminder of like, hey, keep trying different things till you find what works for you. Do you feel like once you get decent supply, you enjoy the reliable happiness that you can get with other things from or watch yourself from above? I think once you begin to learn to live life again, you find a lot of happiness. Like once you stop living life for other people and living for your addiction, you find happiness again. Like truly living for yourself. You know, we give our brain too much credit for the negative and not enough for the positive is my belief. I think people don't spend enough time outside. I don't think people spend enough time cutting the grass. I don't think people spend enough time putting their phone down. I don't think people spend enough time walking. I think we spend way too much time on social media. I'm guilty of that too. Sometimes we get wrapped up into this shit that's not even really our reality. And if you're not living where you're at, it's fucking gone. I don't really have one because I've never used it. And going back, there you go. No, that's that. Have you ever cut grass with a ball? No. Dude, I never cut weed with anything. Or coke with anything. Coke was to me, I mean, when I bought it, it was coke. But when I got coke, you can always email me at what is it, officialericbzink.com. I do actually check my emails. Um, but no, when it came to coke, dude, nothing. No, my addiction was the whole obsession and the line and the laying it out and all that stuff. When I said about getting outside, no, no. But that's the thing is like people miss the joys in life of like mowing the fucking grass or staying outside. Like even today is a cool day. Like I'm walking to our band banquet tonight. Most I ever did in a day, probably over a quarter. I mean, I would get to the point that I didn't even know how much drugs I was putting into my system. I just kept doing lines. And I mean, what happens after a certain while after doing too many lines, I mean, you're and it's just dripping down your throat and you're constantly gagging and you're drinking stuff trying to wash your throat clean. And your nose is so bubbled over that it's like bubbles blowing out of it and you're just I mean, it's horrific. And I was the fucked up person that I would literally blow into a tissue and swallow it. And because I could not lose any of this. I mean, that's how obsessed I was. Um, I mean, if it helps, it helps. I mean, that's the thing is like with Xanax and stuff, I know people that are addicted to it. It's helped me when I had anxiety. Yeah, farmer, dude. That's why when I explained like how bad it was for me, like I literally would blow my nose to try and clean this shit out, and I knew that there was a bunch of coke in that. So I'd roll it into a little ball and I would put it and I'd slam water and I would drink it. That's how sick, like sick I got. Having coke, no money. I constantly owe 300 coke weekly basis. Yeah, no, and that's the thing that happens with coke is like you get to that point where you just owe dealers. I got grateful I never owed dealers anything, but yeah, it's hard to admit how bad it was. At least for me, sometimes I know it was bad, but dude, we all did some crazy stuff, dude. As addicts, if you want to hear crazy stories that you're just like, how did people do that? Is that reality? You're like, it's like, yeah, that's reality of addiction. Like that's how twisted and messed up we are as addicts. People don't get that. Like that is the nasty side of addiction. Jay, I didn't see your question, bro. I'll answer any question if I see it. I have the worst come downs ever. Lost really everything. Yeah. No, that's part of it. My a brief summary on my come downs was is man, I would get depressed and I literally wouldn't focus on the come down and the twitching and the anger. Like I'd get irritable. I would get like hyper focused on finding more. And that would where my whole shift in focus would go to. Handy happy. Did you do blow in the 80s? No, I didn't do blow in the 80s. I have tried opiates. Hydrocodone was the scariest opiate that I ever did. That's one that I could have got myself. Um, that's the one I could have saw myself getting like massively addicted to. 8 years ago, some idiot still owe the guy. Good friend of mine is alcoholic. Any advice? Dude, there's nothing you can do to help them stop. Like you can't help an addict stop. The best advice I have for anybody who has an addict in their life to help them stop is this. The best advice of all is walk away. Walk away. Let them fucking get clean. Let them get clean on their time and just walk the fuck away. I mean, that's our biggest problem when it comes to addicts is like you're never going to help an addict. Cheers for the response. Yeah, no, I mean, I try to respond to everything that I can. So glad I don't do anything now. Stuff cut off. Yeah, dude, stuff's cut with like who God knows what. And they're street pharmacists. Like literally, like we literally trust addicts to like cut shit. Doesn't make any sense. And like you unknowingly trust this that you just got in a bag and you're gonna put in your system. 31 with a hole in your nose, I feel it. Dude, I'm glad I never got a hole in my nose or up here, but I have no sense of smell and breathing is horrible. Done 2 hydrocodone pills at the same time, didn't get a high. Yeah, no, hydrocodone actually hit me hard. Oxycontin never did. Valium never did. Vicodin, no. But hydrocodone, for whatever reason, did. So mentally drained tonight. I'm at the worst right now. Well, hit up some friends and ask for some help. Go meet you if you're having a shitty fucking night and night sucks. Call up a friend and go get a fucking coffee or a smoothie. Go find a place that's 24 hours. Go to a fucking Denny's. Hang out with somebody, just talk. Get outside of the house, man. The worst is when you're just having a shitty time and you just by yourself. Don't have any friends? I've been there. Dude, I know what it's like not to have any friends. You wanna make friends? Go to AA meeting, go to NA meeting. Go to you're not even an addict, go to an Al-Anon meeting. These are real people, dude, going through real bullshit too. Ultimately in life, that's all we want are friends. That's how addicted you are, I feel that. What's my least favorite high? Meth. Meth was my least favorite high. It's just some rigged we alcoholic addicts over a long time, lost my mom, son 4 weeks. I feel that. Dude, life is a struggle, man. Life is a journey. It's there ain't no doubt about that. But we work through it. I mean, that's where grief is so important. No, I know I did. I hated weed. Even when I did coke, I didn't do weed. I hated smoking weed. I have no pleasure whatsoever derived from weed or weed use. Smoking it, edibles, none of that. I mean, I know people that are like, "Oh, dude, this shit helps me and all that stuff," and cool. It just doesn't help me. Oh, nope. I hate weed. Makes me anxious, man. Makes me paranoid. Gives me anxiety, and I hate it. Favorite band, musician depends on my mood. Last concert we went and saw. Who did we see last? Lindsey Sterling is actually who we saw last. No, it gets sucked. I feel it. Makes found a veterans rehab, graduate, got sobriety for 15 months. Congrats, Lee. That's rad. That is rad, dude. I love it. I'm gonna jump off my TikTok live. Say live a few, but I've started enjoying going live. I just like hearing addicts. I like hearing success stories. I like hearing just people like pushing through. I appreciate it, Zippo. Not necessarily, Kirk. It's the same reason. Everybody's different. See, I don't judge people on that, and I won't ever call people out for underlying issues. Weed's always given me anxiety. I've just never liked weed. It's giving me anxiety. I just don't like it. Same reason why somebody can do coke and not like coke, but I loved coke. The same. I mean, it's different for all of us, and that's the thing. Like you'll find, I'm one of the most non-judgmental people when it comes to that stuff. Like I don't care what anybody does. It's somebody's getting high, cool. Don't do it around me, and don't come near me. Get clean, get clean. I'm all for like stocks and even methadone, even though there's like some negatives around those, just in the sole fact that they do help people. And I mean, I'd rather see somebody on methadone or on Suboxone instead of dead in a strip mall with a needle in their arm because they OD'd. From Australia, glad I came across your channel, struggling, but it's your problem, finesse, but you're not alone. That's the difference. That's the thing is, it is your problem, but you're not alone with that problem. And that's the part that you can draw like comfort and like support from of going, dude, I'm not fucking alone at least. How did these other motherfuckers do it? How'd you overcome the fucking depression? How'd you overcome the loneliness? How'd you overcome the insanity of your brain? And you can dive into that. That's the cool part about it though, is you figure out your journey yourself and you find that strength within yourself and nobody else finds it for you. It's you. And that's the coolest part about it. And that's why I love seeing people who are successful who found their way through it. I stopped drinking a year and a half ago. Superly increased cocaine as a replacement. Now we sometimes do that, dude. We sometimes do that. I flip flopped. If I stopped doing cocaine, I would drink more. I honestly am not recovery now, but have a great family, and there you go. That's the thing, Lee. Like, dude, it is. All we want to be is loved. All we want to be is like never alone. I mean, let's face that. Down to 6 shooters before usually 12. Yeah, I used to drink 12 shooters on my way to work. Strictly, there's just yeah, it is. When you get clean, you have to reset the social circle. Dude, you really do. Like, I've had to reset my social circle, and you have to relearn how to make fucking friends. And that's hard, man. It's hard as an adult to make friends again, especially when all your friends have always been through drugs and through using and through being able to get them high with you or whatever. 6 months clean after 2 years of relapsing, drug choice with alcohol and uppers, tell you. I love it. Exactly, Jacob. No, I never mix opiates and cocaine. It is. Have I ever tried clozapine? No, never tried clozapine. The only benzos I've ever taken were Xanax and Ativan. Dude, it does. It does get better, thankfully. Adult addiction starts to you that I didn't mean to make any assumptions. Weed isn't for. Oh, you didn't. No, Kurt, and you'll find I'm just one of those blunt people. Like I really like for somebody to upset me or like offend me does take a lot. Like I don't care. And it's as weird as that sounds, it's the most healing thing ever. Because ultimately what matters is this, my life. You know what I mean? And that's the part that's helped me so much through my addiction is realizing how much none of this matters except me and what I choose to do. Like I'm gonna take a walk, tonight to a band banquet for my wife's daughter. I'm gonna have a good night. Like I love that. That's the beauty of life is starting to live and enjoy it again and find the little joys out of life. I mean, I picked the rest of my peppers out of my pepper garden because I know it's gonna freeze tonight. Like fun shit. And that's where it's different just for everyone. God, my vision is going. But I might go live again tomorrow. Um, but I hope everybody has a good night. I love doing these down. I was going to say, I don't know I don't know of what is safe for first time use because I'm not a doctor. I know people that have used something once and became addicted to it. And I know people that just like don't really have that kind of personality. And I know people that can like literally smoke like a pack of cigarettes and then not pick up another cigarette again. How much drinking until it's considered addiction? When you look at yourself and think that it's addiction, absolutely, Lee. I'm gonna start doing more around the addiction stuff because I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm gonna jump off of this. I hope that you guys have a good rest of the night, and I don't know. I'll probably go live again sometime soon.